Hello everybody, this is Pie Guy, Team Captain the Akatsuki, and video and sound editor for RamenCup-Cast. Before I get the cast started, I just want to thank you all for joining in to our first episode. This first episode is definitely the beta episode. You could just tell by the first 20 minutes that our sound quality is not the best, but after that 20 minutes I get my shit together and it gets a lot better. Trust me. But before I get the cast started again, I just wanted to thank you for joining in. And I just wanted to tell you a little bit about the cast and the future of the cast. So this is a community cast, just like our sister league over at DBZ League. This is in no way trying to compete against the staff cast, because obviously it's on the same channel. This is just to help the staff if they can't group together and pull out an end cast. This is a backup for you guys to listen to during the weekend or something. But we'll get there once we get there, when the season starts. Also, instead of standstill pictures like most of our casts, in the future you'll be able to submit in videos that will play during the cast. So if you want to show us your online prowess or a funny computer versus computer match, you can just send that my way and we'll post that up for you guys during the cast. But again, that's going to be when the season starts, so more information when that comes. Also, of course, you'll be able to send in questions, there'll be coach interviews, things of that nature. So before I send you to our three lovely guests, I can't say this again enough. I just wanted to thank you for listening in, and I hope you guys enjoy.
Hey guys, welcome to the RamenCup-Cast. Today we're going to talk about the new scroll changes that happened in the off season, and we're going to be talking about the passive system and the awakening changes in the new map. So it's a pretty action-packed series of episodes. It won't be one that's too much, but today we have me, Sin, and Tosh.
Hey, what's up?
Tosh is the captain of blanking on. Sorry, Tosh.
Captain of Hidden Sounds.
Hidden Sound. There you go. Boom, bada bing. And we have a special guest inside of the coach of Kunai, Buzz. I was gonna forget one of those, and I forgot both. We're covered in time.
Hey guys.
Deal. Now that we're all introduced, we're gonna step just really fast into it with no break, because I'm like that. We're gonna get the first scroll that was announced to us. Body Flicker is a chain scroll. It was in previously, and it's, I think, yes, it increased. It had an increased cost to 2 points, so it theoretically got buffed. Body Flicker has it's essentially FTG now. It has, mathematically, it has, I think it's 20%, right? 20% movement speed?
Yep, 20%.
20% movement speed, and it makes you move forward farther on your first attack, your character combo. So what it does is it basically, if you are, let's say, Zabuza, his little kick, it will move him forward a bit to kick you in the shin. That's basically what it does, and it also gives you the added effect of FTG, and it's priced the same point FTG was last season. So it's just a straight up better FTG, and it's just a different, it's a name change essentially. Do you guys have any thoughts on it?
Even in its last iteration, I found Flying Thunder God was pretty darn useful, especially for melee characters. And I find with this one, especially with it making the first hit a bit better too, characters like Jiraiya and the other slower, methodical fighters will just get a nice boost out of it.
Yeah, but at the same time, so are characters like Shisui.
Makes fast characters better, but also levels the playing field for the slower ones.
It does, and it also levels the playing field for garbage people. People have a really bad first hit, like Zabuza. Has a really bad first hit. That little kick is awful.
Overall, I liked it more so. It's a good...
I also agree that it's very good.
No, I do like it overall, especially for people that have like an innate, like, who use Body Flicker in the past. It was always great overall, and just adding it to where they can get their attack in faster, it'll be great for them overall. Like how you're saying for Zabuza and Jiraiya and such. I do like it.
I am. It is remiss to say though that it is going to be weird to not have a one-cost speed upgrade, regardless of the first hit. Having access to the old body flicker would probably still be a boon to some characters.
Definitely.
It's no more one-cost body flicker. It's now 2 costs, so you have to think about that. But with the added upgrade to 6 costs, if you are really lazy, you can still build it. And likewise, because body flicker is now the FCG also got buffed. But Monster is now 3 customization points. Mighty Boost is now half your build, but it's pretty worth it. But FCG now gives the character 40% movement bonus. And it now affects the first 2 hits. Also very good. So basic. Attack twice in the first attacking the first combo will launch full. Very, very, very. On top of the movement, I think this is regular like walking around.
I would think so overall. Lion Thunder God, in my opinion, is situational. Because I don't think, yeah, especially now, because I'm not sure, in my personal opinion, I'm not sure if it's worth half of your build. In that sense, unless like you have a character that can suffice pretty much by themselves without it.
I think anyone who wields a weapon will find this to be very useful. Because weapons tend to have a slower startup than a fist does, for obvious reasons.
Well, that really depends, because if you have people like Sasuke or Shisui, Itachi.
Yeah, but they're super accepted. The Uchiha clan cannot be counted as normal in any respect for anything. Everything they do is just different from other characters. Look, the only one who can kind of be considered to be the same is Madara, because his fan is not that fast. But Heavy Sasuke. Heavy Sasuke's sword, when he uses it, it is almost as fast as a fist. That's disgusting. Shisui is faster than a fist, and there's another one that I'm missing.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Obito has like whips or something. What, chains?
Who?
One of the Obitos.
Great Ninja War Obito? Or...
I think it's Yellow Mask Obito, where he has...
Oh, Mask Man.
Those chains, I think.
Yeah,
those
Mask
are pretty
Man,
cool.
yeah.
So, like, Uchiha are, like, very off the wall when it comes to literally anything in the game. So...
I would say probably the person that will probably be the most effective one out of everyone except for Zabuza and Jiraiya and all the other slow characters. I would say Gaara mainly, because since his first 2 combos have such a wide area of effect for the most part.
I also think
cover his whole. Go ahead.
I think this will be used on range fighters.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention. That one of the things that I'm also looking at seeing this is it gives a good poking tool for the ranged fighters, where I know most teams don't like their guys going in for combos, but one of the things I actually really like on my team is with Shino is Toxic Palm was most effective when he would do his short air combos, and being able to either have that or his regular ones have extra range for 2 hits and getting in faster, it could actually open up quite a different way to build ranged fighters.
So when he's spamming bug, you can, you know how he like does like a bug combo and then moves around a little bit to get. This lets him do it faster. So I think FP is useful on like Kamari and yes, sometimes specifically because she is not a range unit. I don't think she's a melee unit, right?
No, she's not a melee. She's range.
I thought she... Oh, no. She has really good melee for her range, right? Is that what it is? Her melee is weird. I remember that. Mari, maybe? One of the PPS girls that are range have really disgusting melee. I don't remember who it was. But they will probably...
Tintin. In my opinion, I don't think Tintin, Shippuden probably... I don't think she really performed that well all that last season. I don't think PTS actually did well overall on Team Kakashi.
So, is that all for FTG?
Yeah, I think we covered those pretty well. Better poking, better movement for both slow, fast, and ranged characters.
One last question for Body Flicker. Which one do you think?
I feel the two-pointer lends itself easier to being splashed onto builds, but I think certain characters who have a harder time hitting their combos in general will enjoy the 2 extra hits of FTG.
Yes. And the fact that you're lurching, you're launching in is it's very, very good for on characters like Naruto, who do that weird. He can do a tilt into his combo, right? He can throw himself into a combo. And so if he misses that throw, he can kind of step into it. But I think characters like Naruto. Alright, so that's all for it. So Unstoppable. Unstoppable is brand new. I like it a lot. It is priced at 2 points, and it makes your ground-based chakra damage ignore guard. So if you charge into somebody and it's a puppet user and it's guard, you will blow through the puppet, so the puppet will fall down. But if you hit the person behind the puppet, you will bypass their guard, so you can just start counting.
To be honest, this is probably one of my favorite scrolls right here. Especially, I would think more so for like my fighters like Orochimaru or possibly even Jirobo, who are aggressive in that sense. Is a great melee asset for them overall. Especially for 2, it's not overpriced or anything like that. It's perfectly normal for them.
It's notable to say that this is ground dashes only. Unfortunately, the staff could not figure out a way to make air dashes affect this, so it is ground-based dashes only, when you're on the ground and just go. But this does affect when the enemy is in the air and you're on the ground. So those ones where you dash up into the air, they can't block there, but it's notable to mention for other things that we'll get to later.
Yeah, I like this. It looks like it'll be good for the melee characters, because I found last season that if you really wanted to build someone for melee, unless it was someone with a huge like attack 3 boost, I found Jutsu and Keep Away were really where the big damage was coming from. But with the scrolls like this, it can help them just get in more, where it could possibly lend itself to having more damage through melee than even firing off an ult. So I like how it's opening up different playstyles.
Yeah, it also makes out melee and people like Gaara easier, because Gaara not only has like strong natural melee, good range, and kind of fast for what it is melee, and he has that defense build. You can kind of help chip that down a bit by negating his block. Now, I know players online that play like this, myself included, where they just kind of sit still as Gaara and wait for the opponent to rush them down, kind of counterattack and stuff. Play like Gaara in the league, right? So this will help counteract that playstyle, where Gaara just kind of sits there and only gets aggressive sometimes. Where if you're aggressive on Gaara, usually just blocks or whatever, he doesn't really challenge too much. But this will, you're already in. You blocked it, and I don't think the AI will recognize that you have unstoppable. I don't think it will change how the AI recognizes. So this might be.
I'm not sure how. It'll probably be good for even range characters in that sense, I guess. Maybe, but I'm not sure how I feel in that sense about it.
I think this will help first, not the other way around. Range characters don't really charge much, and if they do, you're probably mad at them.
I feel this definitely lends itself to hyper-aggressive builds where you're going attack +2, you're putting on this plus maybe a couple of the other new scrolls we're going to talk about later, and you're just making a plan where your character is constantly going to be going in, dashing in, and just starting up a bunch of melee damage. And I think that's something we didn't really see last season and should be pretty good.
Yeah. To move forward, we have a set of 3 new scrolls that are kind of all together. two that are together that we should talk about because they bring a new concept to it. The next two scrolls we're gonna have are palm scrolls, and I'm gonna specify that these are palm scrolls. They're for melee units, not range. Range units now are only have access to Molten Kunai bag or Molten bag, I think it's a Molten bag, and Toxic bag. They do not have access to any of the palms we are going to discuss because they would potentially break them, right? So
Definitely.
what the staff is going to do is you still have access to all the old ones, and off your combo enders for those, you can poison it. That is still very, very useful and much worth your time. But now melee units have a bit more fluctuating control. So yeah, the kunai bag is its own separate thing. The first one is called Sleep Palm. Sleep Palm, at the end of your combo, will put the opponent to sleep for 4 seconds. It's essentially 5 because where the knockback animation, which lasts about 1.5 seconds, is cut out. When you hit someone with Sleep Palm and end your combo, right? You just leave it. Boom. You hit that double hand. Your character, it'll play an animation where you like push him away, but instead of moving, he stands right up and sleep like you got hit by a sleep attack. This is very strong. I think that this is very, very much one of the better palms, but I also see the downside to it. Like, if you hit someone with a sleep palm, there is no guarantee that your character does not just cartwheel around and have a good time. But, on the offhand, you could also get a free Chidori Lightning Spear, or True Spear, sorry. It happens. Sleep Palm is very good. Thoughts?
The thing with Sleep Palm for me personally is yes, it's good and all. I say it's more so better for like your ult spammers or even just like your people that are more so chakra heavy, because once they get that done, they can just go ahead, charge up, and prepare for another assault. But if you have like, and I know you said it doesn't apply to range characters, but for people that, because you do have your fighters that are prone to just throw kunai all the time instead of getting in their face, that can disrupt it, and then that would be a waste of the points in that sense.
Yeah, but you can also just cartwheel around and do nothing. So, like,
Yeah,
there's this.
Go ahead, bud.
Alright, I see 2 types of characters I can really abuse this palm. The first one is a bit more AI dependent. It depends on how smart the AI is. Of the different characters can be to just hit the character and start charging. Because as soon as they use an attack or something, it wakes up. So I see it as an opportunity. You just did a full combo. Now as they're sleeping across the map, just charge up. The other thing I can actually see it for is another nice tool for range characters that like to keep their melee on. Because...
You mean jutsu spammers? Or... Because this is not... Like, people with, like, Tomari cannot get this. That's the point I was making. Like, this is not a kunai bag. This is a palm.
I didn't see anything saying that they couldn't use it. I just believe...
No, like, we got confirmation from Art that none of the palm scrolls outside of Toxic and Molten are going to be kunai bags. So when you're making builds, if you have Shino at all, you cannot give him the Sleep Palm or any of the other palms that we're about to discuss. These are very strictly palms. There are new scrolls called kunai bags. There's Molten Kunai bag and Toxic Kunai bag. You can't use palm anymore. Use kunai bag. I mentioned that, but I don't think, even in the writing on here, is we're now introducing the counterparts to the palm scrolls called the kunai bag. It may not sound very eloquent, but it will allow ranged characters to use the palm scrolls as well. In this case, ranged characters applies to both characters who fight primarily with shuriken, but puppets as well. So puppets cannot use palms strictly for the reason that the staff cannot make the puppet have palm. Well, they can, but you can't have an scroll. So they said, don't do it. You don't get or you get that. So it was a weird. It was a weird.
Okay, so just for clarification, because if I got this confused, there's potential for someone else to. The way I read it would be that, let's say something like Sleep Palm, obviously it wouldn't be affected from their range combos, but all melee fighters also have short melee combos, so Sleep Palm would not be affected onto those melee combos.
No, Sleep Palm is affected by any combo. If it's an air combo, they fall out of the sky like a duck, flat like a rock, and they're standing still like they got hit. The effect literally looks like you're in the air through a thing. So your combo ender goes off, and the character kind of like drops a stack of rocks, or like stands up for no reason, and is so it's really weird. And but the way R explained it, or R said that they just, if they're in the air, they drop like rocks. If they're on the ground, they pop up. If they get knocked back, they don't. And they just mostly for 4 seconds. Reminder, this is only half the duration of acting. So there is still use of sleep. And these all share the same. These all share the same capacity with the kunai bags and the old scroll. So still, all these new palms we're about to announce throughout the video, and all the old ones and the kunai bags, we're only allowed to have 2 per setup. I asked about that too. So I know that these palm scrolls do not come in a kunai. It was a really weird announcement issue that they didn't say, but R confirmed that the Sleep Palm and the other palms that we're going to talk about that I want to spoil, is they do not come in a kunai, because none of these are fair. And that's what I was trying to say. These palms would break the hell out of them. So mad. Come on. For combo.
I know they don't affect the range combos, but the range characters still have melee. You're saying they don't affect those either?
No, because it would put it on. Those characters have a melee combo, but if you put palm on them, it affects both. So there's no way to differentiate. So that's why they're not allowed.
Okay, makes sense.
I'm sorry if that's what you meant. I really wasn't.
Yeah, I'm sure that just like me, there's another person at least that would have had the same confusion, so it's good that you cleared that up.
The next scroll we're going to talk about is Siphon Palm, and it is priced as 3 customization points as opposed to the 2 of the other. And what they do is they end up when you hit someone with a combo ender, it takes away their chakra. This is really good for people who are fighting a truth defense or an ultimate. So this is again one of those things that it's an aggressive tool for melee to help even them out with the ranged units and spammers who last season kind of broke. So I don't think that those characters will be any worse, but I do think that melee is going to get buff with these 2 palms. What do you guys think?
Well, this to me looks very much like the OG Hyuga Awakenings, where once they went into their instant or true awakening, they would start draining off the chakra. Now this is only at the end of the combo, but for the shorter combo characters like Lee or Guy that have the shorter combos, it can almost work the same. And I know at least in early Hyuga days, a very good technique for some of these teams would be chakra denial. Melee mixed with just taking away the opponent's resources at chakra just led to some nice brutal combo chains where the opponent didn't really have the resources to get out of it. So
yes, we'll talk more about siphoning later on when we talk about the passive and the awakening system. But this scroll is very, very nice for people with access to combo enders. Again, this is on combo ender, right? So it sucks off a huge portion in comparison to like hitting someone twice, right? So,
Now, quick question.
what up?
Did we ever get confirmation if attack plus 1 or attack plus 2 actually affects the effects of it?
If you have attack plus 1 or attack plus 2, it sucks no more chakra out than if you have defense plus 2.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you have defense or attack, it doesn't matter. It's still siphon the same amount. But under the use of it, I think I asked R about it when it came out. I remember correctly, he said that this scroll has the potential to be one of the best palms, if not the best palm, depending on who's using it. So that's why they buffed it up to 3 points as opposed to 2. So again, this is build. This is a hefty investment, and it's one of 2 that you can have on the entire set. So this is going to be for those people that can Siphon Palm. You can't just slap on PTS Sakura and call it a night. You have to like, this person has to use this well, and they have to use it effectively and have enough screen time to make it worth it. Otherwise, you might as well use Molten Palm or Toxic Palm.
Oh, and kind of going off of what Buzz was saying for the like Guy and Lee who have short combos, it also benefits for people that are a little bit more slower, like Jiraiya, Jirobo, Kabuto. I noticed that with people when Kabuto, even though he has somewhat of a short combo, he usually doesn't get subbed at all because I guess that it messes with the AI or something like that. But people with slow combos tend to not get subbed a lot, so Siphon Palm can be real good for them overall.
Yeah, I think definitely Siphon Palm has a very good ability to just snowball a game into your favor. You just get some good aggression in, get some good combos. Your opponent's always on the ropes, like, oh shit, I need to get more chakra, and they just may not be able to, depending on how often you do it. Because if you're going against someone who needs her chakra to do their thing, whether that be dashing into a melee combo or trying to fire off an ultimate, taking a good chunk of it away, and if you can do it consistently, it could be very good.
Definitely. The Siphon Palm, I do like that. I think it's one of probably the better palms in my personal opinion, to be honest with you. Compared to like Molten Palm and Toxic Palm does have their staple in the league now, but it's just my personal opinion. What do you think, Buzz?
Yeah, I definitely think this is a very signature type scroll. I think what it's going to be generally used for, it's not something you're going to splash on. It's a big investment. So it needs to be, you know your character finishes combos, you know they do it good, and you're dedicating this to either because you know they're going to abuse the hell out of it, or your build is a denial strategy. I'm not just going to start making Kiba slap this on him randomly and hope that he goes to work with it. You really got to look at characters, know your characters, know if they finish their combos, and from there you either can snowball, or it could just be a waste of 3 points if your character cuts them off early. Like I know May from Hit and Mist, this is definitely a scroll she would not want to use because I know she's famous for not finishing any of her combos.
Exactly. She would do like the first 3 hits or something like that and then back off, or just keep on repeating it for somebody. But,
so you definitely need to know your characters.
Definitely. You got any other anything else you want to say about the scroll?
I think the scroll is pretty well covered. It can be like the old Neji or Hinata, where they would just deny the chakra. On the right character, it can just completely shut them down, and it's going to be a hefty investment.
I think that the scroll is very, very useful for those of them that can use it. So that does it for announcement 1, correct? There's nothing, I didn't miss any like little anecdote things. Okay.
No, we hit everything.
Okay, so into announcement 2. Announcement 2 was prefaced with
a huge change that we should probably talk about. We didn't actually talk about for realsies in the last. What did hold on, that didn't. Last recording. So they gave us access to a limiter of sorts. So on your team, you will have access to a free 5-element seal, one per team, and it is you can just slap it onto any character. It doesn't affect their build at all. You can slap it on top of a full build, and it just is a free limiter. And I think you stick it on that one person, and that's your assigned person for it. You can flick it on and off as you want, I think R said last time. But you cannot swap it around. It's not a kind of thing where if let's say I put it on for some reason, I give it to Choji, and I want it on Shikamaru instead. Well, I should have made that decision in whenever they asked us, right? So that is just how it is. You assign it to a character, and they get it for free for that season. It's a very strong utility item. Because 5-element seal is it increases your ultimate cost. So this is for aggressive characters who have maybe not a great ultimate, or maybe you just don't want them to ult because their melee is so good, right? Like, let's say, for instance, someone who uses it, Shikamaru. Shikamaru has a really bad ultimate, so we don't want him to use it, so we give him 5-element seal.
I
can do that for free now.
This to me is pretty big, because there's a very certain type of ultimate in the game that CC2 was super clever in implementing it in so many different characters so well, and that's the PTS Gaara, PTS Shino, PTS Sakura, Zabuza.
Oh, yeah, the circular come at me bro ultimates. Oh no,
yeah,
those are awful. Yeah, free limiters, bro.
Great ultimates that it's definitely, especially last season on my team personally, I have one of the characters PTS Shino, and for a couple of the times I used him, I did actually put a 5-element seal on him, and it always kind of felt bad because it's something that will make them better, but it's still a point you wish you could put somewhere else. So I think this whole idea is really big.
I have both kinds. There are two kinds of ultimates in this game that are awful. There's the straight line I throw a thing at you ultimates that are either really good or really bad, and then there's the ground AoEs. The ground AoE is inside my team on Shoji. Shoji has that. He has a ground-based AoE that just never hits, and he loves it. And we have the other one. We have Shikamaru, Great Ninja War, who has an ultimate where he reaches into the ground and in a straight, short line pulls up his jutsu. Now this is awful. So on one of those two characters, we can give a free 1-point Patara. Now you're going to a 1-point scroll, and this, because it's 1 point, it's not a huge deal to put it on them manually, but what this does is give you basically a free 7-point build on one of your characters, which is not to be underestimated. I think this is a very strong change, and I think this is a very fun and useful change that again benefits melee, but this also benefits people like Edo Minato, who maybe you don't want him to ult because his ult is not fantastic. Sorry, Joni Minato. Sorry, Joni Minato has that ultimate where he sticks you with a paper bomb. Not a paper bomb.
He marks. Yeah, he marks you.
He marks you with the seal, and then he does his ultimate. But if you don't want him to do that, instead you want him to Rasengan spam, which pretty solid. You can give him the 5-element seal, and it's free. Why not? And you have more room to play with on his build.
See, but the only it depends on the person. Like you have to know the character overall.
Yes, you do.
I would say, like, for Orochimaru, for example, I tried putting him with a 5-element cell for the longest, and because he would spam it in and out of range, and he would never hit. soon as I put 5 element seal on him, he did worse. But when I took it off and I started pairing him with other people, he did a little bit better. So it really depends. Some people, they would need access to the ultimates, or they don't need a hindrance of chakra.
But you could flick it on and off as possible. You just can't see characters. So if for 3 weeks he's doing fantastic with it, and then the next week he just utterly bombs, and you think it's the limiter's fault, well, you can flick it off. But you cannot change it to a different person, I don't think. If we're wrong, Ari's going to be in the comments, firing all of us, so sure. Sweet deal. And on the flip side, we have a new scroll called the Self-Cursing Seal. That, my friends, is called a transition. The Self-Cursing Seal is a 1-point customization, so it's the same price as the 5-element seal, the FPS, if you will, and it makes the jutsu cost more. So this is previously, I think this was a nerf, right?
Yeah.
This was a nerf to certain characters, but now if you really hate your character's jutsu game, you can just turn that system pretty much off by giving them Self-Cursing Seal, the free limiter, and like a palm and some other stuff that I can't talk about right now. So that is pretty dope. I think that they are heavily investing in Melee this season. I think that's fair, and there's not really much they can do. There's not really much they can do to like buff Jutsu a whole lot without giving Melee its fair due, which they did, and we'll get to that. It's just not.
Well, see, they already buffed Jutsu spammers with that I forgot the scroll, but it basically makes you charge your enhanced Jutsu faster and all.
Yeah.
There's different things that you can do it, but yeah, I think this is a good choice overall for the Self-Cursing Seal.
Yeah.
Self-Cursing Seal. This, to me, is something that I probably would have liked a couple seasons ago, as, at least on my team personally, I know I talk about it a lot, but it's the one I have the most experience with. Hinata used to love using her spear jutsu. Yeah. I think she blew away everybody else in the league in jutsu usage, where she had used it over 90 times in a single season, and maybe connected with a fraction of that. And it would just get rid of resources and all that. So I think I find since we switched to Storm 4, and I think we also buffed the AI from the base game.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen any character that's hindered their plan, but there definitely could be some. And I think that if you don't want them always using your jutsu, because maybe you want them to build up to their ultimate. So you give them ultimate chakra saver, you curse their regular jutsu, so you hope the AI will just start pumping out.
This is a very good tool for ultimate spammers. I didn't even think about that. That's a really good tool for ultimate spammers. So moving on towards the next scroll I'm going to talk about while I stall for time, give me like 2 seconds, is Dynamic Entry. Dynamic Entry, I did that on purpose, don't worry about that, I know I got loud. Dynamic Entry is priced at 2 customization points, and what it does, on top of having a super baller name, is make sure ground-based chakra dash now deal damage. And if you look at your screen right now, there is going to be visual representation of how much it does, and it's pretty significant. For those of us here commentating, if you click the little spoiler, it shows you Boruto getting his ass whipped by a dynamic entry. Now, this again is ground-based, because the staff cannot individually target air-based dashes, so it's just ground-based. This is something to remember, is that the AI generally does not sub a dash, and I don't think this will change that. So this is basically free damage for aggressive melee folk. This is very, very useful in conjunction with, I gotta scroll back and find it.
Unstoppable.
Unstoppable. Thank you for being a winner. unstoppable, which makes it so they can't block it. That's pretty good. This is at 2 customization points. You can slap this on virtually any melee and get away with it. But for 4 of your 6 points, and 5 if you're counting your Heaven Scroll, you can have a build based around shipping the hell out of defense. Because if you're facing Gara, right? Gara is standstill, pure defense. And dynamic entry is affected by damage. Not by damage, by defense. If your opponent has defense too, this will do less damage. But if you're poking at an aggressive person, right, you can chip them down faster if they have defense -1 or they're a child or sickly. Because, what's better than dynamic entering a child in the face? What about you guys? What do you guys think? I talked way too long there. Sorry.
You always do. But that's why we like you.
I love this scroll. So good.
This personally is my favorite, especially with Unstoppable. Unstoppable with attack build and just another 1 point, whatever you need. That's great, in my opinion. I just like the added damage overall for it. It's not too crazy, it's not OP or anything like that. So, and plus it has the best name, Dynamic Entry. Come on.
Yeah. This, to me, when I saw this scroll after the first announcements with Unstoppable, this to me is like, alright, the staff definitely want Melee to be an actual thing. Because like I was alluding to earlier, I found last season, it very much was where if your character was holding melee Kataras, it was because they weren't using Jutsu, and that was the only way you could get damage out of them. At least in my experience. So to me, this signals where now melee itself could become a very big factor, and maybe each team will have a character they dedicate to melee. They put Unstoppable, Dynamic Entry, Attack 2, and whatever else they want to complement the character. And it's just very good scrolls that will help out, and I think it'll be great. I think I've already theory crafted a couple of different builds and ways to use these scrolls to their best effectiveness, and I like it. I like it a lot. It gives different ways to build, and I think that's exactly what we needed coming into this season.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the scrolls that were... See, I said it. I did it. We're good. I almost messed that up. Scrolls that we're seeing are very much designed around melee, and none more than this announcement. This announcement is virtually all melee. Like, Self-Cursing Seal is a melee thing, right? But it can be used on Jutsu Spammers. So that's the only thing in this entire announcement that is probably maybe better on Jutsu Spammers and Ultimate Spammers and those of that nature and ranged units than any of these, right? Because these are all very clearly melee, all of these. And speaking of the scrolls we're going to talk about later in this announcement, we have 2 scrolls that go together. And they're both priced at 1 customization point. One of them is Essence of Striking, and the other is Essence of Finishing. And what they do, respectively, meaning striking first, is Essence of Striking, for 1 point of customization, gives you attack +1 for the middle parts of your combo, right? So the starter all the way until stop the ender. The ender suffers a -1. But this is really good for characters that do not hit their ender and have massively long combos. I'm coughing, fake, and looking at you, most of the Uchiha and all you goddamn Hyugas. You guys are going to benefit from this disgustingly. You hit 40 million times, and you get an attack +1 for that. And this does stack with attack +2. So, with attack +2, defense -1, Essence of Striking, Hinata will hit for attack +3 until she hits her finisher. She will then hit for attack +1. This is still good. This -1 doesn't mean anything if you take attack pluses. This will also cancel out defense +2, attack -1 until you hit the finisher, in which case you will have attack -2. It is additive with your attack plus and minuses. So this is basically an attack +1 flat stop until you hit the ender.
I think one of my probably favorite things right now is thinking about a melee build, attack +1 or 2, with Essence of Striking. You got Unstoppable, and then you have Unstoppable and Dynamic Entry.
The build that I thought about when I read this for Essence of Striking, that is largely the same, except I actually wouldn't take Dynamic Entry. I would take Unstoppable, Essence of Striking, Attack +2, not a Palm Scroll. Sorry, that's the wrong word for that. I wanted a Body Flicker. That's what I wanted. So I wanted a bit of movement and attack on my attack range on my. And this is good for people who do not finish their combos. But this is also if you're able to finish this occasionally, it's not like at the end of the world, because if you have attack plus in any capacity, you still have a nat 0 or a +1. And if you have a natural, you're only suffering -1. The only person I would not suggest Essence of Striking nor finishing for is people on a child who have a natural negative to attack.
Oh yeah, child or Odin sick.
You can justify it. If you can justify it, I am more power to you, bro. I believe in you.
Like Choji, Gaara, or Jirogo, this will probably benefit them the most because they do have a defense buff to them. So.
Yeah. So, and sorry, Buzz, do you have any thoughts? Sorry, I skipped over you there.
Honestly, I was talking about it earlier. Characters that you want to know if you're going to put Siphon Palm on them, because you need them to be finishing their combos. There's plenty of characters that don't ever. Yeah. Like, I think there's a good amount that I have not once seen their combo ender. So this to me is, you're looking for one last point, and you can throw this on and it'll just put in some work.
Honestly, I really think that Essence of Striking, or Essence of Striking can go on any character in the game. I think this works for ranged. Don't quote me on that. I'll ask our officiator in a second. Somebody on a PC type that. I'm slow. I'm on a phone. Somebody at R for that. He's in the chat. So, Essence of Striking, if it affects range people, could be on virtually any character in the game. If it doesn't, it's still useful on people who finish their combos. That's just how I feel about it. An attack -1 for your combo ender it should not affect your how you feel about your ender. If you hit your ender consistently all the time, maybe consider Essence of Finishing, but I consider Essence of Striking to be an infinitely better scroll.
Mm-hmm. I definitely see where I more see Essence of Finishing if you're going to, I don't know. It definitely seems like it was one of those scrolls that were made because, hey, while we have this, why not offer the latter? But I don't think it's actually going to be used that much.
Well, Essence of Finishing, right, works on characters like Kisame. Kisame starts his combo, misses half of it, and then hits the ender. I hate it, but it happens. This is built for characters like that. And Samehada, what's his name?
Samehada B.
Yeah, B. People who have Samehada basically miss half their combo and still hit the ender. Don't know why.
See, I gotta agree with Buzz because with the whole leader change system, they're more likely to change and swap out than to actually finish their own combo.
Yeah, but people who have tiny... This works for air combos. Essence of Finishing works for air combos. So Choji's air combo, he does it a lot, and he uses a 3-hit combo. Punch, 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 and then finisher. He throws you to the ground. I wouldn't put it on him personally, but I understand where they're coming from with that. And people like PTS Lee, who have a 8-part combo. On the ground, 8-part combo. And the vast majority is already inside of his finisher. And if he has attack +2 anyway, you still have attack +1 on all of your other hits. But your ender, which is most of his damage, is +3.
I definitely see it
Finisher is a
where
lot better on Attack Plus 2. I will give you that one. The finisher is a lot better, and Essence of Finishing is a lot better on Attack Plus 2. I will give you that. But I also think this will work on any variety of Attack Pluses. If you finish your combos consistently, on any form of Attack Plus, you can take Essence of Finishing. It's 1 point. It's not a huge investment. It's 1 of 6. That is very, very small.
I still see it where if you're going to take one or the other, most of the time I'm probably going to take it. There are situations where you will. I definitely see this as a good scroll. I definitely see it as a good scroll where we have the option to do it. We can use it. I personally do not think it's going to be used that often. I think there's plenty of other good one-pointers.
To be fair, characters who finish their combos are rarer than characters who just leave them hanging. It just is. So Essence of Finishing automatically is just rarer to use. But
I think if I was even considering a build where I wanted to add one or the other, if you're counting on your characters to finish the combos, to get that boost up, finding a way to just make that last
any character
point
that uses
palm
any character
is probably going to be much better.
Any character that uses a palm can use finishing, and finishing and striking do not stack with. So you can't put striking and finishing on at the same time. It doesn't do anything. I don't even think you can do it. But Essence of Striking and Essence of Finishing, I believe, have separate totals. So if you are so inclined, you can put striking, finishing on your team. Don't know why you do it, but you could do it. And so I think that about wraps up striking and finishing, right?
Yeah, I think we've given our opinions and thoughts on it, and I think they're going to be nice welcomes into the scroll list.
Yeah, I think they're both very useful. And the last scroll from this announcement is the first of X amount. I'm not going to spoil it. Style scrolls. This is Lotus Style. This is a combination scroll. It is 3 points, and it gives you 60% boost to your ninja dashes, 20% increase to your regular movement speed, and a 10% speed bonus to your chakra dashes. But as a trade-off, you take a -1 to chakra charge. That's much easier than saying 20% and saying, here, have this number. What does it mean? Basically, it's chakra -1. So this is very well mitigated by a couple different things. You can have a support come down, right? A support can come down and medic charge you. The medic charge support will give you a -0.5. Switching out and charging will give you a nat 0 because you don't have it anymore. And keeping in and swapping it in for giving it to a jutsu spammer and giving them chakra plus 1 or 2 will cancel it out immediately or buff it. So there are many ways to handle the offside to this for a massive movement buff.
I like this scroll. I don't know how often it would be on a staple scroll, but where I can see this for is I tried it a couple times last season where I would be going up against sand or stone, worrying about their ranged fighters, and I could just put on Lotus Scroll. I can count on my fighters to get to them faster, and then all you need to do is find a way to build your team to where the -1 chakra isn't going to be hurting you as much. I think that it's a good way to get in and get in fast.
And I have to agree. Personally, and this actually helps out a lot with freaking range, against range characters as well. And I'm looking at freaking Shippuden and Shino too. As evident like in the playoffs and such, my team versus Kunai. Sasuke would try to dash in and all, but he was always too short. With this one, it will actually help him further out. People going against Tamari and such, it will also help out. And if you have someone that is a medic, such as like Sin was saying, like Hinata, Kabuto, Tsunade and such, they'll just go down to a 0 instead of having a -1. This will benefit them way better.
A -0.5. support is 0.5. It's not a solid 1. I asked R about when this scroll came out. I asked R specifically how much I could mitigate this, and he gave me all of that, including the minus 0.5, because a support medic only gives 0.5.
No, I'm not I'm talking about just them as a whole.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay.
Like, if you have them actually in as a fighter, and they have that innate chakra +1 already, it comes.
Yeah, I was talking about the support.
Yeah. But either way, it can help them, especially if they're ult spammers and such. But overall, I think this will be a good counter overall to against the range fighters. And I can see this being used a lot more in that type of situation.
This could also be a scroll for ranged fighters, because nothing hurts more than just backdashing away from them out of their range.
Yeah, that is true.
It depends on what kind of ranged fighter yours is too. I find, at least for Shino, a big part of his game plan is using his jutsu and once in a while firing off his ult. So chances are this is something where it actually does balance it out to the point where I'm like, I don't know if I actually want to give it to him, which I like, because I find it's balanced very well where it can definitely help, but it doesn't give such an overwhelming advantage to range fighters. Because I know that was one of the things last season that was causing people trouble, was if you started giving movement boosts to them, they would just be able to play a perfect keep away game. And I think just taking the chakra away from them, which I would say is one of their most valuable, dealing massive damage with the range, they're definitely playing the long game, and being able to stay up on their charge rate for their chakra is important. So I think this, while it definitely can help them, it definitely depends on what kind of range fighter you have. I think there are a few that generally just get all their damage from that, so the penalty won't even really be a penalty. But I think just the fact that it does
also, you can give this to the same people that you give the self-cursing seal and the 5-element seal, that melee character, where you don't want chakra and you don't want jutsu and you don't want ultimates, you just want them to go in, be really fast in melee. There's not many of them, but you could do that for people. So I think if you give this to the right melee unit, it will just be the negative's a non-factor and you just get a massive bonus. There's also something to say for just taking that negative, If you just want to take that negative and let it roll out, I think that's worth it. I think that this is a very worth it scroll, even if you don't mitigate it at all. A -1 is not a huge deal, and they're giving you 3 different effects that are all movement-based. It's pretty solid. And I think that about covers it for Lotus Style and Announcement 2. So moving onwards. In Announcement 3, I don't think there was anything prefaced that we want to talk about right now. They did preface this with something, but we're going to hit on that later in its own category. That's mostly for us.
Okay.
The Announcement 3 started off pretty strong with Lightweight. Lightweight is priced at 1 customization point, and it gives characters the... I don't know what it does. Oh god! I want to actually
basically, it was an observation that was made from different characters, such as Six Pass, Obito, Madara, and Naruto, Conan, and all, where their ninja dash went by further, and they had a little bit more of an advantage to where they were invulnerable to Shuriken as well in their ninja dash. So this will allow them to counter range characters in that sense too, by giving them that same effect.
Okay, yeah. So this gives you confirmed, I found the number for it, it confirmed ninja dash length by 66% for 1 customization point. So if you're on a huge map and it's not your home map and you're like a melee-oriented team, you could give this to your characters and they'll just sail across the screen, bro. If they're on Chunin exams and you're just like, what do I do now? You can just put this on people and let them roll out because they're going to go over there real far. This lets you catch a character backstepping as well. If you're charging at a character and chakra dashing, and they chakra dash backwards, you will catch them. Because they will end off, and you'll catch them. You'll touch them. Whereas sometimes you wouldn't reach. So...
Well, this is just Ninja Dash, too, though. Not Chakra Dash.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Ninja Dash. This lets you Ninja Dash further. So you'll catch people, basically, when they're... and it lets you close the gap. So this is a very hefty one-point Patara. A scroll, it basically lets you... I already described the effect like 8 times. I'm sorry. It's a very good scroll. What do you guys think?
This is a decent scroll. Yeah, I agree with Tosh. It's very decent. What I want in a 1 point, I'm looking at my build, and need just that 1 more point. Oh, I could boost Ninja Dash. Guess I could do that, and he can just hop around.
See, I'm not really too fond of it. I'm not sure, to be honest, because I don't really see... Yes, they do Ninja Dash a lot, but I'm not sure how effective it will be.
Put it this way, Ninja Dash, when you hit someone with it, rebounds them. So for melee units, if you Ninja Dash into somebody, they rebound a little bit. So they automatically can't block. If you hit them with it, they can't block you. Your first hit of your combo. So the best you can hope for is that they don't sub. So if you give this to someone like PTS Lee, who has a short combo who just doesn't get subbed a whole lot, and he has that essence of finishing build with attack +2, he Ninja Dashes in, they're like, oh, I got hit, what do I do? And then he just combo. It's over.
The other thing with Ninja Dash that I would just like to bring up is if you're going to be fighting Tamari or something like that, and you need your character to outmaneuver everything, obviously a chakra dash is what generally will get you in, but when they're doing their ninja movement, they're doing their ninja dashes to try to go side to side to avoid everything, this can just help a little bit there. I feel this really is what I want in a one-pointer. I'm not building a thing around it. I'm not dedicating my build to this. This is just something that can sometimes be situational, sometimes just be, I need 1 more point, and I think that's what one-pointers need to be.
Yeah, if your character is slow, any amount of movement helps as well. Like if you have Choji, who's just slower than dirt, you can give him any amount of speed and it still won't feel like it's fantastic. So lightweight's a good additive thing. Where he already has his build, it's pumped full of speed, but 6% ninja dash length, why not? Let's go. Giving people distance and speed to their movement for slower characters is really good. So maybe not on any of Uchiha, but if you have slower units, like Jinchuriki has the option to pick up in Stone as well, has the option to pick up their Jinchuriki. I forget who it is. Han? Not Han, the other
Roshi.
Roshi. Roshi's no, Han's the one with the armor. Han is he's very slow in everything that he does. His melee is slow, his ultimate's slow, jutsu's slow. So giving him speed will help him out a bunch, and lightweight potentially can make him dodge things. So, it could also just affect your overall dodginess. And speaking of being dodgy, if you don't feel like dodging, we have Flak Jacket. Flak Jacket is a 1-point scroll that gives you a 0.5 defense bonus, and it also ups your guard, so it makes your guard take a higher beating. So if you're guarding versus someone with Guard Crusher, or not Guard Crusher, whatever it's called, Relentless, you can take more hits. Very useful. Plus 0.5 defense. This cannot be used with defense +2. It can be used with the armored trait or defense +1. I stress or, because they cannot stack those 3. Those 3 will not be able to be stacked. But if you have armored or defense +1 on, you can have Flak Jacket.
I don't think armored. I think it said it doesn't
stack.
It's
not armored.
But we'll be able to stack with... Oh, sorry. Armored characters cannot use this. That's my bad. That's why Tosh actually runs this show. I actually don't like Flak Jacket. I think Flak Jacket is very classic.
it's very beneficial for people with like a child that have the negative defense and all, which we'll talk about later. But like people that we already know that have the innate like Hiruzen and Kimaru who are sick and old, they would probably need this because it gets rid of that negative point 0.5 and all. So I can use it being beneficial for certain people. But yeah.
So, if there's one thing I would think Team Kurenai was constantly known for last year, it was definitely that I liked using a more defensive, turtley game. It was, as Byrne would describe it, death by 1,000 needles. And the whole point of that way I built that team was I want my characters to survive. I'm going to have Chino or Gara fire stuff out from range, and I'm just going to make this whole match take 30 minutes, but I'm going to win in the end. And I think even if it's only 2.5% of defense, it really does add up. And I think this is actually one of the premium one-pointers. I think that this, in conjunction with your defense one, can get some nice, solid, bulky lineups. And something that I don't know if that many people noticed on Stone at the end, but they had a really scary Han build going on where they just pumped his defense up to the max. And I know when I fought him, I could not do anything to Han. He just stood there. He soaked up all my ults. He soaked up all the combos.
Yeah.
And he just kept going. And even if Han can't use this, having a different character, slapping this on as a second one, you'd be surprised how much damage reduction can really set you ahead of a game. Because if your opponent's going for the big flashy attack +2, and you put in your defense guy, and or they go to use an alt and you switch to someone that has a more defensive build to soak it up, it really hampers their playstyle. So I would actually think Flak Jacket is one of the more premium one-pointers.
I have spoken my piece on it, but, you know, everyone's free to have their own opinion and stuff. And speaking of controversial scrolls, we have Extended Reach. Extended Reach is a 2-point scroll that makes your...
Extended Reach is also for grabs specifically. Yeah. So I see this definitely being most effective on another character from Hidden Stone, actually, that I think is one of the only characters I really know really loves his grabs, Onoki. I see him having this and actually making grab builds a thing. Like, he puts on this ultimate grab, and he can start piling on the damage. Very nice. And I think there are some other characters that have some pretty good grabs. Just having that extra range.
Gara does not need this.
So I was reading the wrong scroll in my head. Extended Reach is the grab that I also... It's still controversial. So basically, you can grab somebody without actually touching them. So if you gave this to, like, Asuma, right? It has that tiny boxer's grab. The tiny boxer's grab is straight up minuscule. He could hit you, and you would be able to see it miss. Now, this scroll is going to cause a bunch of drama in the chat and in the comments. But Sasuke didn't get grabbed by Asuma. He clearly missed, I thought. Extended Reach. It doesn't physically make your grab, like, look any bigger, but it is. You just got to trust in it. It's that level of, like, faith in the scroll that makes it controversial. You have to understand that you're going to see things that aren't real. And you're going to be like, maybe that's in range because it's invisible. Nope, you missed it or you hit it.
So a good way to think about it is there's a lot of older fighting games where the hitboxes really aren't that connected well, and you can get some really funky stuff off. So you just need to think of this as a more deliberate, bad hitbox where the grab goes much farther than what the animation shows.
Yeah. So this is a very, very good.
So
points
just
for
for anyone that's watching a hidden stand match or Jinchuriki and you see Gara hit someone or grab someone from across the map, you know why now. Because he already has a crazy grab reach.
This is also good for people like Ino who have a ranged grab. So her grab is just gonna go for years. Speaking of going for years, ankle weights. They never go bad. Sold at Konoha Electricity Shop. Anyway, ankle weights is a scroll similar to Lotus Style. It's a combination scroll. It gives you, for the price of 3 points, like I think all of them, yeah, all of these combination scrolls are 3 points. It gives you Relentless, Ultimate Grab, and the reach-related buffs of Body Flicker. So it means that your first attack goes XYZ amount further. And this gives you the trade-off of Ninja Dash distance minus 66%. So basically, you're the literal opposite of lightweight, and they give you Relentless, Ultimate Grab, and the first attack speed of Body Flicker.
Look at him.
I'm sorry, the attack distance, sorry.
Inoki is not a nimble man. He likes his throws, and outside of that, he just generally seems to not be doing much. He's got nice range jutsu, so he doesn't need to move that much. Even when he does try to move, he doesn't do it well. I see ankle weights being a very good scroll on characters like that.
Yeah,
you're already going to lose the movement game.
It also decreases your chakra dash speed and length by 10%. Sorry, it's pretty important. Forgot about that.
These characters, they're already going to lose the movement game. Not going to.
This makes characters like
do better in that.
A lot better as well. Jirobo has an amazing grab trap, and Relentless is just good on melee.
So if you're playing to just make them faster, just go full on for the slow and just get some more damage out of it. Go ahead, Dash.
I would say for people like Shisui, this can probably do, since he's already freakishly fast, he can probably use this more so as well. Like, just people that are fast overall, Uchiha based, whether Sin wants to admit it or not, or just other people.
Yeah, but is Shisui's grab really worth it? I feel like ankle weights is broken or made by the ultimate grab. If you're disabling your grab, there's no point to having ankle weights because you can just give them Relentless and Body Flicker and not take a minus to any of that. Ultimate grab is what really makes or breaks this for me. And this is 3 customization points. This is half your build. So if you're saying I want half my build to be this, but I have grabs turned off, ultimate grab isn't going to goddamn help you. And it's just not worth it. So if you're not using every aspect of this, it's really not worth it. I like ankle weights a fair bit. I think that it's fantastic on a small map. I think it's fantastic on characters who use it accordingly. But a lot of characters in the league have their grab turned off.
Yeah, because it tends to make them a little bit more aggressive in that sense, and actually makes the AI correspond well with the team in that sense. So
if you're using ankle weights, you definitely have to put it on a character. This is the thing with a lot of these scrolls, is that they force you to use them on a character that will use it. This is priced high. If this was 2 points, yeah, you could ignore it. But at 3 points, you absolutely need to use your grab, which is an investment for a lot of characters.
I definitely see it where this probably will become very good. Like, you put this in extended reach on characters you know are going to get grabbed, and suddenly that weird character quirk that was making them almost unplayable, get them off 50% of the time, and when they miss, get comboed. Now this is giving them a much, much better way to actually fight. Like, you don't need to worry about disabling it because, well, it's only going to hit once in a while and it's hampering everything else he does. This will help them mitigate that and get that damage in they need. So I think on the characters it's going to help. It's going to be a boon. And I think at 3 points, it's not going to be anything splashy.
Well, to be fair, ankle weights plus extended reach is literally your full build plus a heaven scroll.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's too costly for grabbing. But if you wanted to take one or the other, they are both very good choices.
Attack +2, you give both of them, and you put that on Inoki, and he does 8 grabs in a match, and that's a lot of damage adding up very quickly.
Yes, and on account of attack +2 and stuff, yeah. But like when you're on a map that isn't, I guess you can change it week to week, but this can't be a staple build, because if you're on a big map, this just gets worse. The bigger the map, the worse this gets. So maybe if you took a really tiny home map and every single home match, this was like your thing for Onoki, yeah. But if you go to like to Uchiha's home, who probably are gonna have like a huge map because they're Uchiha and they can, because fireballs from a distance. Why not, right? Like, why would you put this on? Why would you put ankle weights on? Just put extended reach instead. Because extended reach still gives you that shenanigans reach, but it doesn't decrease your movement at all.
And I think that's what I like about the scroll. We haven't really talked about many scrolls today where you're going to mindlessly put them on every build that you possibly can. It's not going to be like last season's Ultimate Chakra Saver, where I found if you're not using both of them, that you're really behind. It's not going to be something like our sister league, Dragon Ball Z League, where if you have healing or you have your savior Pataras, you need them. I find this is a good scroll where, yes, it's situational, but if you have that situation, it is going to put in work. And that's what I like. You have to think, you have to strategize, you have to actually know who you're fighting and where to make it work.
Yeah, a lot of the scrolls we're talking about right now makes your map choice extremely important. I always thought the Naruto League put a huge emphasis on just where the hell you are, both inside of your map and when you're picking your map and when you're building for your match. The map is always important. And in our sister league, DBZ League, really the only map that matters is Mount Bullshit. Because Mount Bullshit kills your entire B2 game. No other map just straight up kills a B2 game. So, but in Naruto League, if you have a map that if you're on a pure water map and you use fire jutsu, you're gonna get an inherent damage negative, and Molten Palm becomes less of a thing. Like, these exist for a reason, and the maps always feel impactful. How big it is, how wide it is, how many chakra dashes it gets. Like, judging distance based on chakra dash is super important, and ninja dash as well. And I think it's a very good factor for this league. So I think that about sums it up, right?
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I think we covered everything we needed to.
Shikigami Dance is the final combination scroll, and it is priced at 3, like every other combo scroll. It is plus 20% to movement speed, plus 10% to chakra dash speed, 66 boost to to ninja dash distance, and it's minus 0.5 defense. I'm not going to say 2.5 because for people who don't translate that very well, it's a minus 0.5 to defense. So again, you can just mitigate that with flak jacket. So for 4 points, you can just make this not a thing. It's easy mitigation for a ton of movement speed.
This is
a good opportunity for. Sorry, go ahead.
Scroll to Lotus Style, and the reason why I like the difference of the two is you can now choose. Are you going to be so aggressive with either your jutsu and your melee that you don't really care if you're going to start taking more damage from your attacks? You can go Shikigami Dance. If you're like, no, I kind of want that, then you could go with Lotus Style. And I like how they gave us a couple of options of where we want to put our negative.
Yeah, I think it's very good. That's everything here, right? That's announcement 3. I think we have one final announcement, right?
Yeah, that's it. And then we have one more thing after that.
Yeah, this is going to require a bunch of talking. It's going to be like a good portion of it. So moving right into the announcement 4. Announcement 4 started with no interlude. It's just scrolls. This is the final set of new scrolls, and I think these are some of the most fun ones. starting off with, again, reminder, palm scrolls are not kunai scrolls. These are not kunai scrolls. These are palm scrolls. Exhaustion Palm is a 2-point palm scroll that adds an attack down debuff, and it will last for 4 seconds. It's very self-explanatory.
I like the scroll. It can. I think it's more.
I should point out mechanically, when your character knocks someone away for their combo end, the duration of the effect is actually like 5-point-something seconds because it factors in the time it takes them to fly away and stand back up. So it's 4 seconds once they like get up from the attack. Go ahead.
To be honest, I think it's a good scroll, and I know, of course, this won't apply to like the people like Shino or to Yuya and such, but people of the same, I guess, type of AI mindset or whatever, to where they like to keep away and such, and then like just Buzz was saying pretty much death by 1,000 needles and all that. Like they like to poke and such. This will be good for them overall, and then if they do end up getting like assaulted on by an aggressive character, then they won't do as much damage from it. I think this is more so just for a keep away type of playset.
Yeah,
I
think definitely think it's
versus
like that.
defense and versus hyper attack. I think
It's
this is very
basically
good for. It's pretty good across the board, I think, but I don't think it doesn't come up enough. 4 seconds is not enough, in my opinion, to use it a whole lot. Versus a different one with a similar effect is. I just think attack down isn't the best.
Go ahead, Buzz.
Yeah, I definitely think it'll be one of those things where you put this on maybe someone like Gara, where you're going to throw them away, and I think this is going to be a bit more situational because it is only 4 or 5 seconds. If your game plan is definitely like, I'm going to keep them away, the 4 or 5 seconds can be good against most people, but they may not even, the debuff may go down on them. But if you're going against someone like, I don't know, Shisui, or someone you know that as soon as you knock them away, they're going to be right back up in your face, where this is a good counter to that.
Piercing Palm, that was a weird transition. It's 2 points like every other palm in existence except for Siphon. Piercing Palm gives a defense negative debuff for 4 seconds. This is the opposite, but infinitely more useful, in my opinion, than Exhaustion Palm, for the exact same reason. If you're pressing somebody down enough to use your combo ender, getting off more damage is just straight up better. Making them hit a little bit less is less so, in my opinion, but making them take more, oh yeah, because you're going to be aggressive. If you're ending combos, you're aggressive.
Now, quick
Pushing that
question.
aggression further is great. What's up?
Does this also their defense down? Does it also affect like their guard, or is it just their overall defense?
I don't think we asked him, but I think it's just defense down.
Okay.
I wouldn't imagine it messes with their guard at all. Because I don't think guard equates to defense. Unless it does. I'm more green than you guys. If defense adds to your guard meter, then sure. If it doesn't, I don't think so. I don't think there's really much to say. I think we really said it all with Exhaustion Palm. I think we can just kind of blow right past this one, because it's just the same thing.
Yeah, it's basically melee more.
Alright.
And the final Palm scroll of the entire offseason, there's been a goddamn ton of them, is 2 points, and it's called Sluggish Palm. Sluggish Palm adds a speed down debuff. This is kind of a game changer, but at the same time, it really isn't. This is a speed down. This gives you minus however much, I'm not quite sure, to all forms of speed.
This will really hurt.
It's not only slower. It's not like attack speed. It's movement. It's all movement speed. But it's not only slower. It's shorter. So if you chakra dash to somebody, not only is it slower after that, but it is shorter.
This will really hurt all aggressive melee type people, especially especially if they're a slower character like Jirobo, Jiraiya, but also people like Lee and guys who rely on their speed to get in, this will affect them drastically if they do get hit by this. But on the flip
Yes.
side, this will also help them more so to catch up with the person. Um, where
This
like
will also make it harder for range units to run away.
Mm-hmm.
This to me seems like what you want, probably over Exhaustion Palm, where
Yes.
with Sluggish, if you're playing Keep Away, it'll help you keep away. And if you're going in, this could also maybe replace Piercing, where, like Tosh was just touching on with range, you can make them slower, they can't get away, and you can stay in their face better. So it's definitely a best of both worlds. Um, it's definitely going to be a choice, though. Like, there's a lot of good palms.
Yes, I think
so
every single palm has a use, and I think this is one of the better palms, but there also exists the palms we discussed earlier, which I think are disgusting. Where'd they go? Siphon palm and sleep palm, and there's another one that we discussed. All the ones from the first set of palms that we saw, sleep palm, siphon palm, I think that's it. Whatever, yeah, sure. Those are all very, very, very good. So there's really no reason to not use them. But you also want sluggish palm. So there's a lot of palm decisions and choices, and I think palms are going to be one of the most highly contested scrolls in the league. I think that palms in general are like a specific thing, and each situation is going to want a different palm. And there's a lot of really good ones, including Piercing, Sluggish, Molten, Toxic. They all have a very unique and good use. The only bad palm scroll, in my opinion, is Exhaustion Palm. And even then, it has its uses. So I think that we're going to see a lot of variety in them. Now, we're going to move into the next set, because I have nothing to say for these like interlude-wise. There's no way to come into these clean. So these are called Nature Change and then Thing, right? So they're placed at 2 points. The first one is Nature Change Water Release. This changed the effective function, not the visual effect, the effective function to a water jutsu. This includes the bonuses he gets for staying on water. Reminder, this is if you're standing on water, not if you're on a map with water. This is if you're standing on water. And it doesn't matter if they are. So if you have Fireball jutsus like on a Chiha, and you're on Mist map, who probably has water because it's Mist, you can use Nature Change Water Release, and you no longer suffer the damage negative associated with fire jutsus, but you still get the burn. The skull burn, if you will.
Yeah. And I do like this one because it does make fire style jutsus a little bit more better. In that sense, if you are fighting someone that try to counteract someone with a water map.
Yes.
this to
This is
me,
also... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say this to me with the whole map idea thing. I know last season, I and a couple of other teams like Minato, we did one of these things where we took a map that had water on it, just specifically so if we would play against what was the most effective form of jutsu, which was fire, it was the most prevalent, that we'd have some natural safeguards on our home map to it. But with these scrolls, that becomes a little bit more trickier because you could take a water map and put water release on some of your characters and start dealing more damage, but so can your opponents. So this is another
Double-edged.
scroll where there's a lot of stuff, a lot of scrolls that are going to affect your map choice. You're no longer just going to look for whichever one looks the prettiest or whichever one fits your theme the best. I think this is going to be the first time where when people are picking their maps and voting for their maps, that there may actually be some bidding where you're going up to 4 or 5 Rio because you definitely need this map to help your team out.
You could also map change and then put on Nature Release, Water Release.
The opposite, you have a water map. Your
They put it
opponents
on.
are coming on to it. They're like, well, I'm going to punish you for being at home. then you just pay the money, switch your map to something there, and suddenly they just wasted
Yeah.
a bunch of points.
Potentially 4 points, yeah. Potentially 4 points.
Mhm.
Which is a lot, yeah. So, this is very strong. This is just water release. There's another one that potentially makes damage skyrocket, which is Nature Change Lightning Release. Now, this is the scroll that I said was going to be talked about a fucking ton, and it's going to require a bit of talking. Now, I'm just going to mechanically tell you about this because when we talked to R about this, it was super friggin' specific. So what it does is it makes an AoE around you of electricity, and this only procs when you're on water. When you're on water, this is a relatively small but also kind of big for what it is AoE around your character. It's like Shino's like alt, right? PTS Shino's alt. The bugs like kind of float down around him and stuff. Buzz, you know how roughly the big is. What would you classify it as, big or small? Because I know that one's smaller than any other one. So.
Wait, which one?
PTS Shino's alt. It's smaller than all the others, I think.
Yeah, it definitely is very close range.
And if you Buzz, if you look at the thing, PTS Shino's right there. So tell me how big you think that is in comparison to his alt.
Yeah, it definitely goes farther than that.
It goes farther? Okay, so it's a little bit bigger. For those of you audio podcasting right now, I probably should have cued our guy here to show the damages thing. It goes a little bit farther than PTS Shino's alt, so it's pretty big, but also kind of small for what it is. But it's a circular AoE that procs around you, and if it hits the opponent, you get a exponential increase to the damage that your jutsu does. Now, this is not like a measly like 5-10% or a +1. I think R said this is more akin to a +2. The +2 is closer to than a +1, he said, but it's like massive. And this is on top of the jutsu getting the bonus that electricity gets. So even if you miss with this still gets the electricity bonus. And this procs on water. So if they're on land and you're on water, but he's on the very edge of the water, he will still get clipped by this because you're in the water. This mechanically can go out of goddamn control. If, for whatever reason, Mist gets a hold of PTS Lee. I like to use him as an example for like a million different things because he's a character that's universally, he is what he is. He has a leaf combo attack. Leaf combo attack is a short-ranged melee AoE move. That, with this scroll on a water map, is guaranteed to hit, I think. If he hits with that on the initial first get up, he gets this guaranteed, and that's already a high damage move. That's ridiculous. So I think this is priced at 3 points.
Yeah.
Yes, this is 3 points. And even if you're not getting the ridiculous buff, you're getting the lightning bonus on water. So it's still a big buff.
And for anyone like Takasasuke.
Yes.
Takasasuke, he already has a lightning enhanced jutsu. So if you add on Water Style, it gives him a double-edged sword. Well, more effective sword, I guess you could say.
Actually, I believe when I talked about it, that you can only have one nature style to your jutsus. So if your character naturally has lightning or water, and you chose to give them the other, they don't stack. It just one becomes the other.
Yeah.
Because if you thought about it,
I thought he meant he gets double lightning bonus, which he does. Like if you use Kirin in the water with nature change lightning release, he's gonna get the lightning buff twice.
So it affects ultimates as well. Is that what you're saying?
I think Kirin's lightning based, right?
Kirin is a lightning based ultimate, yes.
Does it get the effect?
Or Truth Spear. No.
Yeah. Okay.
When he starts it up, it doesn't give him an effect at all.
Oh, then it doesn't. No. But if you have an electric-based move, right? If you have Chidori lightning-based, for Christ's sake, which move in the game is lightning-based? Like it gets the water or electricity buff.
Chidori.
Chidori. If he uses Chidori, right, and he hits with that from point-blank range, ignoring the circular buff, he will get I think he will get a 2 times electricity buff because he gets the one naturally and then the Patara one. Scroll 1.
I'm not sure if that's correct because I believe what the scroll does is it just gives the effect. It just gives the effect. He's not.
I thought it was additive to the same effect.
I don't think he's giving any buffs to these things. It's just like in the example that they have on the announcement, Shino's jutsu normally has no element attached to it. Yet as he's doing this, he's getting the lightning buffs. So I'm pretty sure that even if you already have them, adding that scroll isn't actually going to deal anything. I
mean, it gives the circular buff, which is ridiculous if it hits. But
ninjutsu already have that, is what I'm saying.
No. The circular thing I'm talking about is completely unique to this scroll. Like, R talked about this in length with us last time, that it just... That circular thing, yes, it's on others, but it doesn't increase the damage you do by that much. Like, the jutsu that he talked about wasn't this one that he shows, because this doesn't actually hit Iruka in this video. But when he hits with that thing, it does, like, ridiculous damage, which is not based on regular electricity buffs. This is in addition, he said, to the circular is in addition to the lightning buff.
Okay.
And it only procs on the circular hit, which does a tick of damage itself. So
okay, I thought Chidori and that on water already had the circular buff, but I could be mistaken.
I don't think it's the same circular buff. Chidori on water does have a circular hit to it. It does tick that damage, and it doesn't. Then that's where like the water thing. That's where that water buff comes from on Chidori, is the circular thing. But this circle is different. It's much bigger, and it increases your damage a ton more.
Okay.
That's the reason why this scroll is so powerful. Is because R didn't even mean to do it. He said he accidentally got that when he was trying to make this scroll. So the added effect of this circular buff is why this is 3 points instead of 2. If this was just it makes it lightning, he said it would have been 2. But because this circle thing makes it hit ridiculously hard, it costs 3 now.
All right, sounds good.
Which I think is cheap, bro. I think this should be 4. Granted, it could miss, but I think this should be 4. This is ridiculous. I almost said a different word.
What, the lightning one? You think it should be 4?
Yeah. I think lightning really should be 4, right? I guarantee you it's just going to get nerfed. This is ridiculous. Like, hold on.
Wait, how many is that? 2 or 3?
Lightning boost with Shockwave, I think adds like another base jutsu for Shino. Let me look at the damage. Yeah, it like adds like half of a base jutsu for Shino. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it may. Possibly.
Like, 3 points, bro? Like, he gets other shit with this. He gets a 2-pointer and a heaven scroll.
I don't think it's that bad, but that depends.
I don't know. I think that scroll needed to be talked about a ton mechanically and not, like, preference-wise. So, we have one final scroll until we move on to a much easier subject. Is the Air Palm, which is the one I was confusing earlier. Air Palm is the opposite of Body Flicker and FTG in the movement effects, right? Air Palm makes it so, and this is not a palm scroll. I should point that out. This is not a palm scroll. It just ironically has the name Palm in it. It doesn't take the same slot. If someone comes at you with FTG, and you know how they lunge forward, I said? Air Palm will make you stand still, and you have a wider hitbox. So you will clip them before they hit you, because your range is longer than theirs, and you're not. So they move forward with the same range, and you stay still with a longer range. So why you win is because your range is longer and they're moving forward. So they run accidentally into your attacks. So trading FCG with Air Palm doesn't work anymore. You can't simul hit. Air Palm is priced at 2 points, and it is basically a big middle finger to Body Flicker and FCG, and I like it a whole lot.
Yeah, it's a nice one. I don't really mind it. I have no opinion on it, like either against it or for it.
I really like these type of ones, this and Body Flicker, and like the extra range to the grab scroll. Like I really like those because it breaks some traditional rules, you know? Like a lot of these scrolls are like, oh, I'm gonna give more damage, or I'm gonna give a number buff. This is I'm gonna change the hitboxes, or I'm gonna change the movement box. I
also,
like that.
I'm vaguely certain this does not affect range kunai. I think this is the melee on those units, in case you're wondering, for Shino and shit. I don't think this is for kunai.
With characters with generally stubby normals.
Yes. I'm actually like really excited for this one because I have a character with one of the shortest melees of all time. I have Asuma, who has like a tiny boxer's grab and tiny boxer jabs, and Hokage Naruto would also benefit from this because he also has those sick jabs. So Naruto, the last boxer, is gonna have a fun time with this. He's gonna throw straight to the left.
I think it will definitely be interesting seeing between Air Palm and Body Flicker, which one the AI and our different characters, which one they really gravitate more towards, you know? Yeah. Like, because I there's some funny stuff. Like I know with in my experience, older Hinata, once in a while, even mid combo, somehow the game will magically drop it, and the character will just kind of slide down and not do anything. So one becomes more used. I think both of them do a similar but very different thing.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting tool for a lot of characters. I think that about covers it for scrolls, right?
Yeah. That's the last of the scrolls, for the most part.
Okay, so before we officially end scrolls, I'm going to tie up this conversation again and ask, eeny, meeny, miny, Buzz, what is your 2 favorite new or changed scrolls?
Alright, well, I'm going to cheat a little here. I'm actually going to give 3 because I think there are 3 scrolls that really excite me for different reasons. Now, the first one are the 2 chakra change scrolls. I'm going to mix into one just because I feel like this will give such a big thing to countering, which is something where last season I found towards the end, I really couldn't figure out how am I going to counter another player. And I found this gives something where maps become a lot more important. These become double-edged swords with your map choice, and I really like that. The other one I want to bring in is Unstoppable, and in conjunction with that specifically Dynamic Entry, because I feel this really does make much more efficient, where I really do like it, where it's definitely going to create a new archetype. So I'd say those are the scrolls that I definitely like the most. One creates a new archetype of fighter that I don't really think was in the league before, where melee was sort of the bottom of the barrel, and now can definitely be really good. And as for the other 2, the Matrix scrolls, addressed one of my other concerns I had with countering. And I think between those 2, it's going to be a very fun season with lots of different options build-wise between how many times can I get my characters to ultimate.
Okay. Those are some solid choices. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't listening. 'Cause I was not in the field. I was just I had like audio technical stuff to deal with on my end. So sorry.
Don't worry, man. I was listening to you, man. Your words
Hey man,
were into
nature
me.
release, extended grab, and something else. I'm sorry.
Nah.
What did you like? What are your two favorite? Don't cheat. We already have one cheater. Don't be a cheater. He has.
Oh, I have multiple ones. No,
Yeah.
no, because Buzz basically hit some of the ones that I did. Like I like, except for the two nature palms. I really only care about the water one. Mainly because with the water one, and this is basically where with my characters. My characters, I don't think they'll get close enough with how their jutsus are for the lightning base to actually work effectively. With the water ones, I think it will be a little bit better for my playstyle with my characters. Um, the other two was going to be unstoppable and dynamic entry as well. Mainly because I do like how you can just switch over and ignore guard and inflict damage just from chakra damage.
Last time that we freaked out for like 10, 15 minutes about how dope those two are. Even R was like, oh my god, dude, it was so lit.
And then my last one actually would probably be, and like Buzz, I will probably just combine the two essence of striking and finishing.
Yeah, I think so.
Those two are very good overall, especially since you can stack them with attack builds. It makes your character a little bit more aggressive and very threatening towards other people. So it makes other people think twice on, okay, would I need to counter with a defense build, or would they actually do this to and it could just turn over the match completely. So
yeah,
yeah. I accidentally did 4, so I did cheat. But yeah, Buzz kind of went over the ones that I like, so I didn't cheat yet.
Okay, I'm just saying you want to cheat on anything. You're a scummy cheater. I liked ankle weights. This is totally not biased based on my team, by the way. I like ankle weights. I like Shikigami dance, Shinsengumi dance, whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't know. S-word dance. And I liked air palm. I think those are very, very ridiculous for the right people.
Episode here, because there's a lot more to go through. We have categories for passives that's been implemented into the league, and we'll also be going through the maps. So stay tuned for that. It won't be that long after this video that'll come out. So just stay tuned, and thank you for listening to RamenCast.